Speaking of definitions, my definition of a pro is simple. Someone so good at what they do, they're not often appreciated until they're gone, and maybe not even then. Ken Riley had a wonderful, productive NFL career. He spent 15 years with the same team, the Cincinnati Bengals. He played in the 1982 Super Bowl. He was a top cornerback during his era, a position he never played in college. He was a guy who played the game without whining or showboating. He was not cheap or dirty. Yet he still waits for his ultimate reward. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. A native of Bartow, Florida, Ken graduated from Union Academy and rose to prominence as a quarterback at Florida A&M under the legendary Jay Gaither, the coach who introduced the split T formation in college way back in 1963. It was Eddie Robinson before Eddie Robinson. Ken calls it his late mentor. He put on clinics at Bear Bryant, Woody Hayes, and Lou Holtz all attended. All my high school coaches played for him. 11 guys who played for him played pro ball, including Major Hazleton, Chicago Bears, Nathaniel James, Cleveland Browns, Sam Tyler, St. Louis Cardinals, and Donald Smith, Denver Broncos. Upon graduating in 1969, Ken was nominated to be a Rhodes Scholar, but he opted to join the Bengals. At that time belonging to the American Football League, he was a sixth-round draft pick that year. The Bengals also drafted another quarterback, Greg Cook from the University of Cincinnati, and they drafted him in the first round. So Ken did not have to be a Rhodes Scholar to figure out that he was not going to get the best opportunity to play that position. Then Coach Paul Brown asked him to play cornerback. Ken made that switch without complaint and became the defensive cornerstone for Cincinnati through 1983. In his first season, he would have 4 interceptions, recover 2 fumbles, return kickoffs, and even catch a couple passes on the offense, good for 15 yards. Sounds like Leon before he He had 3 or more interceptions in all but 3 of his 15 seasons. His top season in 1976, he set a team record with 9 interceptions, a record that would last 30 years until surpassed by Delta O'Neal in 2005. He also set a team record that season with 3 interceptions in a single game, accomplished in the season finale against the New York Jets. Ken would finish his pro career with 65 interceptions. He said that time the 4th most in NFL history, plus 596 return yards, 5 interceptions returned for touchdowns, 18 fumble recoveries, 96 fumble return yards, 334 kickoff return yards, and of course those 15 receiving yards. His interception return yardage, and the interceptions returned for touchdowns are all Bengals records. He led the AFC in interceptions 3 times, and he played more games than any other Bengal. And yet, Ken was never selected for a Pro Bowl given the league's name to an All-Pro team, nor has he been awarded a place in the NFL Hall of Fame. Mr. Riley, let me paraphrase Stuart Scott from ESPN. I don't want to say that anyway. Once his playing days ended, Ken became assistant coach of the Green Bay Packers for 2 years. In 1986, he returned to FAMU as head football coach, staying there for 8 years with a 49-38-2 record, along with 2 Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference titles and 2 Conference Coach of the Year awards. In 1994, Riley became FAMU's athletic director and remained there until 2003. He is currently the Dean of Students at Winter Haven High School. Ken Riley, we at NABJ cannot write all the wrongs that have been done to you by the NFL, but we can say without question, we know the Hall of Fame is in the city. Welcome to our Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Matt. It is an honor, and indeed I am very grateful to stand here and be a recipient of one of the awards today for the National Association of Black Journalists. One thing I can recall with Paul Brown, who was my first coach in the NFL, and you know he had this thing with Jim Brown. Matter of fact, Jim Brown was the reason why Paul Brown left Cleveland. And he said, one thing that I learned about the ordeal with the Cleveland Browns and Jim Brown is that you can't beat sports writers. That's their job. They write every day. And I've learned that. But you know, it really is an honor for me. I look at myself, I get a lot of questions about the Hall of Fame thing. That's something I can't control. I say I'm the Rocky Dangerfield. I just don't get any respect. But, you know, to be on some of the recipients today, I know with Doug and I were just chatting earlier. I got a chance to work with Doug when he was supposed to be Grambling. And that was at Lake Direct area over in Cincinnati, getting ready to have a game. And I think that was the 9/11 thing happened, so it didn't materialize. And I have on my wall, I have a plaque with my children, my wife. I'm happy to have my father here, my son is here, my wife is not here. I leave them up because we have 4 of our grandsons. We had them all summer. Boy, you talk about an ordeal. All 4 boys. But, you know, the plaque was given to me by my wife and my children when I was supposed to be in Green Bay. I had just recently retired in '83, so she got this plaque made with all the interceptions, like 65, my first, from 1969 to 1983. And I was telling Doug, we the only guy on that don't have. And I got a chance to play against Doug. I know he played in Cincinnati, and Doug did have a strong arm. I don't know, there was something about the Grambling quarterback, though, that played also with James Harris. They were always 6'4", you know, James Harris probably went to the football field, too. We call him Shaq. You don't know who James Harris is. But Doug was a great player, great friend, and Leroy and I got a chance to work with him when he was at Tampa, but I was at Lake Direct, and we did some things there also. But I am truly honored. Right now, people say, what are you doing? I came back home to Bartow, which is about 40 miles east of here. And I sit around the house for a year. I got tired of sitting around the house, so I went to a high school in Polk County and said, well, you know, you still like working with kids? And I said, sure, I like working with kids. So I've been a dean now for 4 or 5 years. And I get a chance again to help mold some young students. And that's very positive to me because it really hurts to see so many students with no ambition, no drive. They don't dream anymore. And I tell them often, there's nothing wrong with dreaming. And I said, what we have to do, what you have to do, we have to learn, especially athletes, you have to learn how to balance academics and athletics. And if you do that, it takes some of the interest you have in athletics and apply it to your everyday life in the classroom, and just a little bit of that, you have some success. We are losing our kids, and we have probably the highest non-graduates, not graduating from high school. It's unbelievable. I see it every day. And I said I'm probably going to work another year doing this, but boy, we need help. And it's sad, especially some of our minority kids, not only black kids, but some of our Spanish, Asian kids, no ambition. Everybody want to be the hip-hop, want to be the next rapper, the 50 Cent bill. Everybody have their own little private studios. And the other thing is it's just mind-boggling to me is the drugs that have been going on in high school. I worked in the college level for 17 years. And being in the high school level and looking at what's happening there, we're going to have some help. You know, our basic institutions that have been broken down, and that especially in black community, that's been in the schools, that's been in churches, and it started in the homes. They have broken down. We can go back and revisit these things and try to help some of our kids today. But it really is an honor. I'm not going to stay here and stand here and talk and go on and on and on. But whatever you can do as far as more recognition. I was always taught that your actions speak louder than words. And also the old cliche, I think the Chinese proverb says that, well, the mulberry tree, the time it takes the mulberry tree to become sad. Well, I've been patient a long time, and it's time for me to get in the Hall of Fame. 65 interception, 5th all-time, and sports writers, I need your help. I've never been one to go out and advocate anything. I always thought that, like I said, whatever you did, and you will be rewarded for your efforts. But when I see some other people in there,